Welcome everybody to Nerd TV for another race of the Full Throttle Sim Racing Points Truck Series. Today we are at Phoenix International Raceway. And alongside me, my name is Jeremy, by the way. Alongside me is Kenny Bishop. Kenny, how you doing,
I'm doing
man?
great tonight, Jeremy. How about you yourself?
Well, my face is present, so you can see my eye is good. It's back to normal health, which that's why our cameras are off on Monday for those who tuned in then. But I am good to go, and it can't be better. Phoenix is one of my favorite racetracks, whether if it's the old version or new version, and this race is one of those looking forward to.
Well, that makes one of us, Jeremy, because I'm not the luckiest at Phoenix. It's a fun track. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy coming here. I don't enjoy leaving though. Not very good at it myself. It's just one of those tracks I can't seem to get down, old or new. But it is very fun to watch, and it's exciting to race whether I'm up, mid-pack or back. But I know that you're good at it and enjoy being up front. It's just a fun track. It's a different configuration than we see at normal tracks.
Yeah, it's kind of like I'm like the Kevin Harvick out of between us two. Like I got just a thing for this track, and I like uniqueness, as you know me. Like I love like a weird, wonky schedule. I love a weird shaped racetrack. I don't know, it's just kind of fun, gets you out of the ordinary. And this track, you've seen it on real life TV. You're gonna see here tonight. With how the dogleg works, and you can fan out 10 trucks wide if you want to on the starts. It gets pretty crazy, and these guys race each other competitively and respectfully, and I expect that dogleg to definitely be a factor tonight.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to the most. The way that how competitive these guys are, how good their control is, whether in whatever car, their vehicle, truck, whatever they're in. So it's going to be lead some good racing tonight.
Yeah, that's for sure. And this is the first time we're going to see him on kind of a short track-esque style racetrack, so I'm really looking forward to that too as well. But I know we've only been on the camera for a couple minutes, but we do need to thank some sponsors before we get this thing kicked off for the fourth race of the season in the Truck Series. So that being said, we're going to get our faces up and start thanking some people that are in much needed deservance. Full Throttle Sim Racing, of course, the league that we are watching tonight on Nerd TV. Premier League that's been running on iRacing since 2017 and been around since 2006. FTSR.net is their website, 5 different series, and every single one of those series has a lot of cars, a lot of good, respectful drivers, showcased especially with the Cup Series on Monday and Wednesday with the Truck Series, which you are watching right now. So once again, check them out at FTSR.net. And then the official sponsor of the Truck Series tonight, Sim Racing Points. It's the all-inclusive league points management system that allows owners and administrators the ability to completely track their league statistics and points with a simple upload. Sim Racing Points does not stop there. For the avid webmasters out there, they also allow the custom creation of widgets for any league website to fully display points, results, and more that easily update when results are uploaded. Just a few simple clicks of the mouse and any league can be up and running and looking good while doing so. Check out all their pricing plans and options at www.simracingpoints.com. And then we have Martin Sports, home of the sim gloves of all of sim racing. Use promo code at checkout, SuperNerd, for 25% off everything. You got fully customized, dye printed t-shirts, hoodies, hats, gloves, of course. Check out their full apparel line, martinsports906.com, and all your custom orders have the absolute fastest turnaround in the business. They have iRacing iFlag. Use promo code SuperNerd, 15% off of anything that you purchase from there. That's the track sim lights, and on the real life for that matter too. The lights come into your sim rig, brings you that much step closer into the actual racing facility that you're watching. It's a thing that you put in your sim rig that kind of helps you with your concentration. If there's a yellow flag on the track and you have your spotter turned off, you might not catch it. iRacing iFlag got that covered for you, and it covers all the flags, not just the yellows, but yellows are some of the more important ones. So check their website out at iracingiflag.com. Once again, Super Nerd for 15% off at checkout. And then thebuttkicker.com. Their promo code for us is NerdTV, and you get 20% off your entire order as well. That gives you that deep gaming immersion, especially with the Gamer 2 unit. Gives it that haptic feeling in your seat that attaches to any center post of your gaming chair or sim racing rig, and gives you that much needed feel from the car that drivers really need to perform at their peak performance. See their entire product line at thebuttkicker.com. All right, Kenny, about a half minute or so until qualifying is over. Looking over the results right now, Nicholas Morel, fastest in practice. And it looks like he's fastest in the qualifying charts. I think he's got a pretty dominant truck.
Yeah, he's showing his muscle again this weekend, or sorry, this Wednesday. He was dominant a couple weeks ago. Kind of unfortunately jumped that start and lost that win, but he's looking to show another strong performance tonight.
Yeah, he's definitely showing the way right now. He was, let's see, going back here, he was just around a 10th faster in practice than everybody else, and qualifying only by 2/100. So he's pretty close there with Mark Dubril and Claude Ferland and Nicholas Casey. They're all really, really tight-knit bundle. But as you see on Nerd TV, these trucks are hitting the grid right now. So we're going to go over the starting lineup here. And like the trucks I just mentioned, Nicholas Morel is going to take the grid here tonight, starting first. Mark Dubril second. Claude Ferland in third. Nicholas Casey fourth. Chuck Sweeting in fifth. Sixth place, you're going to see Bobby Terrell. Seventh place, we're going to see Brody Hanna. Eighth place, Sylvain Jolly. Zach McDaniel, current points leader, currently sitting in ninth. In 10th place, Alec Murphy.
And going to be in 11th is going to be Casey McMullen. 12th is Chris Stover. 13th is Richie Coy. 14th is Matthew Trebois. 15th is Kenneth Schultz. 16th, Stephen Verman. 17th is Jonathan Varanakis. 18th is Simon Madgen. 19th will be Brandon Elder. And 20th is Andrew Pulicki.
21st is going to be Gil Gawk. Martin Giro is going to take 22nd. Tony Solari sitting in the back in 23rd. We saw his teammate Brody Hanna kind of do the same thing on Monday and take it home for the W. So, that's definitely a possibility to get back up there to the front. 24th, Lane Allen. 25th place, we're going to see Jeff Langston. 26th are showing Sherwood Williford. And then everybody else did not take qualifying times. That's going to be 27th, Wayne Grassy. 28th, Kevin Rupert. 29th, James Torrey. 30th, Sylvain Papala. 31st, Matthew Geringer. 32nd, Brian Bliss. And to round out tonight's field, in 33rd place, Ronald White.
Yeah, the one that I'm looking to see, Jeremy, is Lane Allen starting it back in 24th. We saw him, basically 2 races in a row. Last week in the trucks, he came from the back and made his way to the front and kind of got in a late caution, and then he did it on a Monday night as well. So Lane Allen's one to keep an eye on tonight, Jeremy.
Yeah, he's getting faster and faster each and every week that we're watching these guys. And my eye is going to be on Matthew Tremblay. You saw him last Wednesday pass 29 trucks to get his first win of the season. And he has half the work to do so, starting at 14th. I think he had an issue, if I recall that correctly, in qualifying. That's why he wasn't able to get a good lap time at all. So, but currently sitting at 14th, you can't count him out either.
No, not at all, Jeremy. He's definitely put on a show last week. He's looking to do it again this week.
Absolutely. You see the pace truck is down, waiting for these guys to hit the go pedal. Waiting for that flag to drop.
Green, green, green.
Green flag is out. It is underway for the start of the Phoenix 200K. Pretty good start here. They don't fan out as much as I expected. We see Nicholas go out to about a truck car length advantage entering turn number 1.
Yeah, I was expecting. We got one up in the wall already, spinning around turn 1. Looks like
Caution is out.
Two of them. One is turned actually to the inside wall.
Oh my!
The 32 looks like he walked up in time, but that took about 5 or 6 drivers out there, Jeremy.
Huge pileup early on in the very first corner, something we have not seen from Full Throttle Sim Racing to this point. But some things like this are inevitable, especially at a short track, and heavy impact into the outside wall goes to 13.
Yeah, you can see it right here, right in front of him here. I saw it right in the rear. It just got loose up and washed up and hit the wall. I'm not sure exactly who started it right there. You can see it in the wall and just 13. And from there, it kind of just collected a few more, and everyone tried to miss him and kind of got involved in it, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's multiple trucks here. 32, 13. We see the 14, 46. I think I saw Tony Solari get a little damage on his truck. The 33.
Well, the 13 is Chris Stover. He's the one that's second in points coming into it, and I think he might have been the one that kind of started that initial melee there. I'm not sure what initiated it, but that's definitely not a good way to
We're
start.
gonna find out right here on Nerd TV, and it looks like his truck just got jacked up by the 25. That being of Matthew Tremblay, last week's winner, and kind of set off that chain reaction when everyone's piled up at a kind of a shorter track. It's one of those things that's hard to avoid.
Yeah, especially everyone's antsy and ready to go into turn one, and to have it happen right there, you're not expecting it. As we see, Chris Stover's actually disconnected, so I think his night's done. That is going to be points hit for him tonight. He's going to be the first one out. I think we're going to see him finish here in 33rd, maybe even 32nd. I'm not sure if Ron took the green flag or not, but that is definitely unfortunate for him tonight.
Yeah, he was currently 11 points back of Zach McDaniel, second place in points. He was 5 ahead of third place Case McMullen. That's going to drop him a lot, probably outside the top 10, just because everyone how so close they are. So huge points day already shaking up on the first lap.
Yeah, absolutely. There's hopefully that got it out of the way. The yellow flag, like you said, we don't really see that very often with these guys over here. It's a lot of clean racing, so that's unfortunate to see it on the first lap. But maybe they're just getting it out of the way instead of wrecking towards the end of the race. They're just going to wreck in the beginning and then be clean all the way throughout.
Yeah, I want to take a quick moment here to apologize. There's a slight issue on our screen that we usually don't have, but iRacing had an update which kind of changed some settings around for our producer, Mr. Dustin, and it's being worked on. But as of right now, there's a little, it's not major, but there's a little bit of an issue that you can probably see on your screen right now. That will be resolved by Monday for sure, but just want to throw that out there. Thanks to iRacing for the update issue on his end, and we'll get it fixed up for you guys. But that being said, we got about a half a lap left. Of course, the pace car dipped super early because of how they reconfigured this track just a few years ago. So these guys have to wait essentially a half a lap, getting really antsy. They just want to go, right? iRacing, you can go when the pace car drops, but not at this track. You have to wait just a little longer. And there's a big gap here between second row and third row. The 75 is really giving up some room. I'm not sure if he's trying to jump or whatnot, but giving up some room nonetheless. And the 15 is actually spaced out too, so a little bit of a staggered start, so to speak. Waiting for the green flag.
Green flag.
Green flag is out. Nicholas on the go pedal, goes low early, tries to get that good advantage, and does so. About a 2 car lengths advantage over the 88 and the 43.
Yeah, you can definitely see when they fan out down there, gain some space on the other trucks there. Kind of surprised this is the restart on the first lap. I expected them to kind of fan out a little bit more, but they definitely didn't. Just kind of took it down by a lane or two. But as we see, Nicholas is just kind of stretching that lead out a little bit as they're heading around for this first full green flag lap.
All right, man, caution is out.
We got another
Caution is
caution.
out.
It looks like they're wrecking coming off a 4, hard hit into the outside wall. I saw a red truck. I'm not sure exactly what that is. Right there, as we see on their TV, got a couple of them piled up there, Jeremy.
Yeah, it looks like the 50, the 33 of Sherwood Williford again. The 46 came out with a little damage, and I think the 85 was one of the first trucks to. We'll have to go back and take a look here on our replay screen and see exactly what just happened. Gonna look at it myself, but yeah, this is kind of strange here. 2 laps in, and we have 2 cautions.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say as we complete. As you see, Tony just in their TV there gets a hard hit in the back of his truck as the 31 hits the outside wall. Pretty good damage as well. Tough couple weeks for Tony. Definitely been feeling it these last couple weeks. But yeah, I thought he was gonna come around, complete the first green flag lap, and as soon as I said that, yellow flag. So still waiting to get that first green flag lap run done. But in the meantime, hopefully they're kind of getting it under control, and we'll get some green flag laps going.
Yeah, it looks like on my end, anyways, the 25 once again pushed to this time Matthew Tremblay into turn number 3, and it just there was just too much speed under the corner. He had to get it woed up, and it kicked the truck sideways, and I think that's what brought out that scramble there. But it doesn't look like the first wreck where there was a lot of damage, but there was still some trucks that are a little hurt on that one, because you got a replay right here on the 25 right there, hits him in the rear, sends him up. He ducks low and clears him, and then a wheelie, I think, done by the 85 there. So that's caused some suspension damage.
Yeah, he just said he's got too much damage. He's out of the race as well. As you saw, it got him hard when he got on that, lifted that wheel off the ground. But yeah, it's unfortunate for him. A couple, quick trucks out early tonight.
Yeah, super unfortunate. And you see, this pit road is quite busy with the crews getting repairs done on these trucks that are currently injured. I see about 4 or 5 trucks on pit road. Some of them are just starting to leave. I think there's about 2 laps before we go green, but This is just a really no one's been in this situation so far up to the 4 races in the season, and I know one person that likes this is Nicholas Morale. Your current leader. He has to do no fighting to keep this lead, but outside of that, I know there's some trucks there in the back who really want to get some spots gained to get themselves in position.
Yeah, he's just taking one lap at a time. I'll take that one. I'll take that one. Trying to count towards most laps led tonight, so he'll take them as he can get them tonight. But yeah, there was between those two cars up there, Ferlin and Moreau their trucks are very close in color, and it was throwing me off for a second. I was getting the two mistaken there, but sharp looking trucks they have. I like that color. It's like that not so. It's a little bit darker seafoam, but both those trucks looking really nice tonight, Jeremy.
Me with the blues. That's then you got the 75 there in third. That's Chuck Sweeting. Blue's my thing. So I can't hate on 3 trucks being blue up in the front. That's I like to see it, but I know they want to keep it that way too. Speaking of Chuck Sweeting, we've pointed him out more recently in this past week or so, and that's another one of those trucks like Lane Allen who's really come to his own here, finding a lot of speed.
Yeah, he's second place in the rookie standings right now. He's 10th place in the points standings, so he's keeping it close. Staying within that top 10. He's having a good show. Strong run, and also I was going to say this earlier and it skipped my mind. It just came back, and Brody was kind of relaying to all the drivers, it's kind of keep it calm and relaxed, kind of get some green flags runs going. So I'd expect to get a long green flag run going here, because I think these guys are going to settle in after this drop of the green flag, Jeremy.
Yeah, it's just a really odd situation. We've not seen these guys in before, and I'm sure they want to go back to the long green flag runs, and I have a good feeling this is going to be the time, especially when you got the admin out here saying, "Hey, let's kind of get this let's keep this a little cleaner next time around." Green flag is out this time. Nicholas Morel gets a decent start over the 43, and of Claude rather, and they're single file 1 and 2. You're going to see the 2x2 about 4 rows deep.
Yeah, it's just Nicholas. He's just getting that great start on the restarts here, and just taking about 2 grooves down and gapping the truck there on second place, no matter if it's Berlin or if it's Dubril. Both of them, he's just kind of gapped them. But as we're going to come around this time, looks like we're going to first green flag lap completed as he takes that one, leading the first 10 laps, as we see Chuck kind of diving down to gain some spots as they're heading into turn 1.
Yeah, minus the top 4 or 5, there's a lot of trucks that are side by side trying to scramble and get what they can before everyone gets all single filed out. As they exit turn number 2, I think, Kenny, we did this last week for you guys, and we're going to do it once again. That Nerd Enhanced Racing Decibels give you a couple of good solid laps and hear these engines roar. guys, that was Nerd Enhanced Racing Decibels. Give you a couple of good solid laps of hearing these trucks at max volume, and we're doing that. Nicholas Morale was quite impressive. We pulled out to just over a second lead over second place of Chuck Sweeting. Claude Furlan has dropped back to third, and a lot of these trucks, Kenny, have gone single file.
Yeah, we saw there for a second on the restart. You had 2 wide and almost a 3 wide racing, and a couple of people jumping down on the front stretch there, but not anymore. They're kind of single file, spaced out, as Nicholas is just kind of increasing that lead lap by lap, 10th after 10th, and he's just pulling away, showing that he's definitely got the strong truck tonight. So he's putting on a strong performance. But yeah, I don't, not much going on in the field right now. Just kind of like we see on their TV, just single file, just kind of settling their trucks in, getting this green flag run going. Do you have any notebook notes for us tonight, Jeremy, or do we go ahead and pass on that one?
So I brought a notebook on Monday for those who tuned in from a pretty good group of guys too, that being from Fury Motorsports, kind of getting the idea of what their cars were doing during practice. And they gave me the complete wrong notebook. Expected 2 or 3 pit stops. Some people did it in 1. Your winner came from 20th place, which was his average position, all the way up until like maybe 20, 30 laps to go. So, no, I did not bring a notebook because even when I do have one, I'm still wrong. So I'm just going to kind of wing this thing. But I can only give you what I know what Phoenix does from a driver's perspective. And even with this newer surface, it is a short track. You have to treat it like one. You want to take care of those tires or you get really tight. If your name's not Nicholas Morel, by the way. He's got a really dominant short run truck, but yeah, everyone else just kind of playing it safe. They had a little bit of a weird start to this race, having 2 quick cautions back to back, and they've recognized that, and you see it here on the screen. They're just all really spaced out. A couple maybe packs that are giving some pressure right now, 6th, 7th, 8th place. There's a good group of 4 trucks you see right now on your screen. The tail end of this pack being Richie Coy, put on a pretty strong performance at Las Vegas just on Monday night in the Cup Series. But yeah, just kind of doing their thing like you said, and just kind of taking laps away, maybe saving their tires for the long run. Yeah,
and you mentioned Richie Coy had a good run last week, and last year even I think he led a race high in laps last year. He had 66 led, so he knows how to get around this place. So I'd expect him to kind of move his way up and slow and steady. This is this pack right here that we're seeing on their TV is probably about the raciest pack I think on the track right now. So they're definitely one to keep an eye on because Nicholas he's checking out. He's 1.5, like you said, great short run truck. We'll see how it handles in the long run. And then as far as the fuel mileage goes, I'll let you know what the fuel mileage run is once they start making pit stops. How about that?
That's a great idea. No speculation. Just call it as you see it. That sounds like the safest game plan I could possibly think of. So we're going to go with that. But yeah, this is the raciest pack. About 4 or 5 trucks involved. Mark Dubril kind of falling back a little bit to Nicholas Casey, who gets a decent run off of turn 2 there. Dips it to the inside. Looks like we're going to have a potential change for the top 5.
Yeah, as you can see, kind of moved up into the top groove there. He couldn't get a run coming off of 4 there. So he might actually retain that spot, but you see him shoot down below trying to get a run, but just can't make the pass and pull it off there. But that's that's still that closest pack that we have that's being a little racy right now, going back and forth. So it's a great battle that they're putting on between these 5 trucks here. Richie kind of looking back and forth as well, seeing where he wants to go.
Yeah, just a quick mention too, if you haven't paid attention to iRacing really this week, they had an update on Tuesday, and one of the things that was a big part of the update was the trucks. The Toyota Tundra got a brand new model with all of its grille and light placements, and the Ford and Chevys also had some decal changes to the current model. Kept the same body physically, so there's no extra download there. It's just a template change. But I think, Kenny, I don't know about you, but I'm really digging the look of these 2022 trucks.
There's something about the trucks, and every year for that front end, no matter which one it is, just gets meaner and meaner looking. Just looks so aggressive coming down these tracks, no matter what track you're at, and that's one of the best looking ones. Of course you have the Mustang and things like that look really good, but something about these trucks, they just look so intimidating coming down the track and aggressive. and they just add to it every year. So I'm loving the update. It's definitely one that's top notch in my book. So I love to see it as we see him shooting down low here. I was actually watching this little battle we have between these 3 trucks as they're trying to go back and forth. Nicholas over here, taking a run on the inside of Mark here as he might try to complete the pass, but I don't think he's going to be able to make it here, Jeremy.
Sylvain trying to follow him as well. And yeah, Nicholas and Mark are putting on a pretty decent show for us right now when the racing's kind of stale. They're kind of taking laps away. These two have a different idea for us here at Nerd TV and want to get some track time, get some on-camera time. Nicholas Casey shoots way down to the bottom, which I kind of like doing that myself. You just have to worry about getting loose back onto the racing surface. And what's holding Mark Dubril right now on that second groove is not many people know, but there's a slight progressive bank, I think, between the first and second groove. And allows the outside truck to carry a little bit extra momentum off of turn 1 and 2. 3 and 4, not so much. It's all about the same all the way through the corner. But you see, actually, Mark dropped back 3 spots this past lap.
Quick.
I think his tires are kind of burnt up there running that top line.
Yeah, you saw Sylvain Jolly just kind of make a good pass there. Not sure if he got slowed, if Mark got slowed from those tires or what, but when he was battling side by side and Jolly took advantage of that and kind of made that pass on the inside there and passed both of them. So that was a good pass on his part. But yeah, Mark's just falling back, and I'm not sure if he kind of ate up the tires a little early here or if some of these trucks are finally starting to come in. You know, we see Richie Coy slowly picking off some people as well. So could be a little mixture of both. As you know, Mark looks like he's going to lose another position here. As we see on the inside, ooh, getting closer on their TV journey, might have a little contact.
That was pretty close. I didn't see any myself, but yeah, he cut that close. Richie Coy did in that 19 bright orange and white Toyota. One of those trucks that are kind of moving. Looking at the thing here, he started 13th. He's currently sitting in 9th place right now. Well, actually jumped up to 8th. So he's gained 5 spots since the flag flown 31 laps ago. So he's on a mission right now.
Yeah, and right in front of him is teammate Brody Hanna. So, you know, they got their setups are probably running about the same, pretty similar. And then behind them, you have Matthew Tremblay. He had a little bit of running on those first 2 cautions. Might have had a helping hand, might have had a Brad Kozlowski bumper on it. But, you know, he's making his way up through the field in 9th place now. And as we see, also Zach McDaniel, you know, he's your points leader. He's gained actually he's lost a couple spots, I should say, since the start. But he's kind of staying around that top 10 as well. So he's kind of just laying back as these tires start setting in or wearing off, depending on how you're driving it.
Yeah, you said Brad Keselowski bumper. I think by all the memes, it was basically the Florida snowplow that cleaned out quite a bit of cars. And I mean, it's the first short track of the season, and maybe he's got his nerves up, trying to do a repeat win here with last week in hand. And, you know, things happen sometimes, and not everyone's perfect 100% of the time, but it looks like he's got that thing figured out, and he's gained 5 spots since the drop of the green flag as well. And he's one of those trucks that are making some moves for sure. Going back through the field a little bit more. Another big mover, Kevin Rupert in that one truck, started 28th. He's currently in 17th. And then Brian Bliss, 32nd, started. He's currently in 15th. So we can see quite a bit of movers kind of shifting through the field.
Yeah, and kind of going back to Matthew there, you know, you can have last week, I mean, he gained 29 spots on the, you know, started 5th, got first. Or started 30th and got first. So, you know, he only had to lead 1 lap, led the last lap, made his way up through the field, so, and then had some trouble today. So it can go one way or another each week. As I saw there, looks like Brody's kind of getting a little loose here coming off of the corners, no matter if it's off of 1 and 2 or 3 and 4. Every time his truck's just slipping out a little bit, as we see Richie Coy kind of closing in on him. So, you know, Brody's having a little handling issues right now, as you see right there. He's getting a little bit off the wall, but Richie's kind of running him down slow and steady here.
Yeah, that all black and a little bit of orange Ford F-150 getting loose once again. I think I've seen that truck get loose probably 4 or 5 times in the past 10 laps. He definitely has a handling issue, and he is wearing that right rear out. And if this thing goes green for a while, like, it's just going to get worse and worse as time ticks.
Yeah, I mean, we're coming, you know, on lap 36 right now, and Nicholas is just kind of checking out. He's 2.6 ahead. No one really to worry about there, and they've kind of separated a little bit. You have top 5 that's kind of like a second apart from each other. So everyone's just kind of running their own races. We see a lot of them here jumping down low on the front stretch too. So to make the pass, it looks like they're waiting until they can kind of fan out there at the start-finish line and make the pass right there, which is a little bit safer, got more room to play around with. And I was expecting Richie to kind of make a little better run here on Brody, but as we see, he really hasn't done that. And showing their TV too, you got Chuck Sweetening there, still in second place. He's having a great run tonight. As we talked about him earlier, second rookie of the points, 10th in points right now, so he's just continuing to have that great season right now.
Yeah, absolutely. We see him pass Alex Murphy there in that 20 or that 31 truck rather, and he's not for position. He's now a lap down, involved, I think, in that second wreck that happened in turn number 3. So that truck's running a little bit under the weather. So we're starting to see these lap trucks get to the guys that are falling one lap down. The next one in sights of Nicholas Moreau is James Torrey in that number 6. And he's coming kind of quick. So impressive. Nicholas Moreau's got a 3-second lead right now, 39 laps into this thing. I would have thought maybe Tire Wear have kind of pushed him back, but, as I stated earlier, I'm always wrong. So I kind of just thought about it, didn't actually say it until now. But everybody else, though, minus Nick and Chuck, Claude, Bobby, Nicholas Casey, they're all pretty close respectively.
Yeah, it's close, like I said, about just a little bit off of each other. And other than Nicholas, everyone's kind of around that same race, and I'm surprised either everyone's tires are just falling off and his are just slightly falling off, or he's just got a knack around this place, because he's checking out like something I haven't seen before. And I'm not up front at this place, like I said earlier, but he'd be running me down in a hurry. He'd be one I'd be worried about. But as I'm kind of looking here, watching around the track, and Brody's just fighting as he saved it there coming off of down the start finish line here. But that's going to give Richie the advantage here as they're heading in the 1. And I've been keeping my eye on him because I know he's been getting loose coming off these corners, and he almost lost it there, but he ended up saving it, but he definitely lost the position for it. So I don't know how many, when these green flag pit stops are going to come, but I'm sure he's just can't wait till he gets there so he can get some fresh tires put on.
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing. He really just wants to get done and over with this first green flag run. He might elect to take the early pit stop too, so I'm sure he's thinking about it. He's really tempted with how his truck is ill handling. He needs to get that track bar adjusted a little bit on the tight side, or maybe an air pressure adjustment to get the thing to not be so loose on corner exit, maybe even in the center even. So not sure what he has in store, but I know he's talking with his teammates, because his teammates are doing pretty good. Like this team right in front of Richie Coy is kind of spacing him out a little bit. I'm sure he's talking to him and his crew and seeing what he can do to the truck.
Yeah, definitely. He sees Richie's kind of smooth sailing here, so he's already gained quite a bit on him. I mean, not much, but he's going to almost pull about a second here in a couple laps on him. So he's definitely got the handling here for the long run. So I'm sure they're talking back and forth and relaying information as we see Matthew behind Brody here, kind of looking around, seeing where he can make the pass, seeing what's going to be the best for him. See the 31 there on their TV. They're going to put him back through the field after he went a lap down, but he's actually corrected here with his last couple of laps. He hasn't been loose coming up the corner, so hopefully we don't have the broadcaster's jinx here in the next lap or so. But I think as we see Matthew there, kind of. But it's so cool that I love something about that, like when you just have that back end step out and it's just a smooth little whoop and back in line. It's fun to watch and fun to do at the same time.
Yeah, if you're one of the guys who are really, they really want to just amp your game on this iRacing simulation, is you want to drive off the right rear. So you want that truck to have that little kick out to go around the corners and save your front tires. And Brody could be doing that just a little bit on the extreme side. Maybe he expected to do it, but not so much. And that's where it gets you in trouble, is when you have no drive off corner. So you're running a fine line between saving those fronts and destroying your rear. So he's got to find that balance if he wants to get back up there, which I know he can. We saw it on Monday. They definitely don't count the man out. No,
yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm sitting here thinking. I was like, I'm not going to say anything, because last week I was like, I don't know what's going on with them. Actually, it was 2 days ago on Monday in the Cup, so I don't know what's going on with them. Just in 22nd, he's not up there. Must just not like the track. And what's he do? He ends up winning the race. So never going to count him out. Still running top 10. He's in 8th spot right now, and he's actually pulling away a little bit on Matthews. So maybe he's found a little something, or like you said, maybe he's just pushing a little bit too much there, and he's kind of bringing it back a little bit, because he's not as bad now as he was. So maybe he just brought it back a little bit. But as we see, Nicholas still, he's lost a little bit of that lead. I say a little bit, but he's still almost 2.5 seconds ahead. But he did lose some, and that's he's been fighting through some lap traffic as we see on their TV. So that's wanted. But yeah, he's about 2 seconds now on Chuck. Either Chuck's wheeling him in, or this lap traffic's kind of causing an issue for him. Maybe a little bit of both.
I've been observing Chuck Sweeting's line this past couple laps, and I think it's a combination of both. Running through 2-lap trucks that are almost side by side is definitely going to slow you up, but I don't think it slowed him up a whole second in the past lap or two. So Chuck's actually making some pretty good time all by his lonesome here. He's going to come to these lap trucks probably in the next 3 laps. He's going to have to deal with the same thing. If he could slice them a little bit quicker than Nicholas can, he might have something before pit stops come up, as his lead's now just under a second over Chuck.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see right here how he gets by him and kind of really see how this lap goes. He gained another 10th on him that last lap, but this one, there's no lap car interference. They're kind of spaced out between the two of them right now, so we'll see how their lap times are changed here as they come across. Yeah, it's slightly better. I mean, they ran pretty equal lap times there. So he definitely needs to get through these 2 lap trucks a lot quicker than Nicholas did, because it definitely took a toll. I mean, like I said, he was 3+ seconds ahead, and it dropped him down to under 2 seconds. So if Chuck can get around those two and chase them down, it'll be pretty close as they're coming off their road.
Chuck got pretty darn loose off the corner at turn number 4 that last lap, and does so one more time here as he saves it, goes down to the bottom of the track to make up whatever ground there. That truck's starting to become a little more ill-handling each and every lap at this point. Maybe because he was trying to run down Nicholas a little bit harder than he should have, which it's worked up to this point, but now he's just over 2 seconds back. And he's changing up his line a little bit, too. It looks like he's found more of himself at the bottom of the track versus the second groove up. Maybe it's because of that looseness and he just can't hold the top like he could. Let's see if he can find grip here in turn 4 this time. He does. He widened out that corner. Didn't have to step it out so much.
Yeah, and looking through the field, Jeremy, it looks like we have about 23 trucks right now on the lead lap. A couple of them, from the accidents. Some are still on the track making laps. Others are just, unfortunately, out of the race. But I only see 2 that's 1 lap down, so just having some issues with those. But yeah, we still got 23 on the lead lap. Kind of a couple of the call out, though, that we have that's out of this race. He came into the standings that was pretty decent, was Tony Solari, and he's out of this race, finishes in 30th. Lane Allen, who has had a great run these last couple of weeks, unfortunately he's 29 laps down, so big points implications on these guys tonight, and that's unfortunate to see some of those faster drivers out early too.
Yeah, it's just those early incidents that were lap 1 and lap 2, and when you have those trucks so bundled up on a shorter racing facility, it just, you just have bad luck and you're just in for the ride, kind of like a wreck, so to speak, at Daytona or Talladega. So it's super unfortunate. They're going to have to do a lot of work to get back to where they were in the points, but we're only 4 races in, so they got time. They can make it up. It needs a little bit extra luck on their side at this point, but definitely something doable. Nicholas Morel is back up to a 2.6 second lead over Chuck, so the lap cars have kind of phased out and they've kind of recycled back to where they were doing before the lap trucks were around. Claude Furlan in 3rd, still sitting 5.5 back. Bobby Terrell right there on his bumper, just over 5.5 back. That's really the next race on the track right now is between the 43 and the 4, and also Nicholas Casey. That's just about 6 truck lengths back of the 4 himself. But here for the top 5.
Yeah, everyone's spread out. This is this is kind of what we were expecting to see with these guys. Besides the 2 little incidents at the start of the race, just spread out, green flag racing. Eventually one truck's going to be a little bit better than the other. Something's going to fall off sooner than the other one, so you'll see some battles here and there. But we expect these guys to kind of spread out like this when they get this green flag run going. And it's don't put off many battles, but it's still impressive to see when you can go this long on green flag, and most of the races only having a caution or 2. So there's still excitement in it. Might not be battling side by side, but some of these runs you see, the lines that they're taking, how they're coming off the corner, little things like that, just kind of see how they improve their time is always a fun thing to watch as well. As we see on our TV, kind of got a group of 4 of them here that's still battling, and now we got the lap car there, the 50. He was in that early accident, but for Bobby Terrell, he's trying to make a run on the 43 of Clyde, but I don't think he's going to be able to get it right there on this time, Jeremy.
Yeah, doesn't do it this time, but yeah, the lap traffic is, as it's already shown its face with the lead trucks that it's time to get through some of these lap trucks, and you got to do it quickly if you don't want to lose any extra time. Quick notation of Claude Furland and Sylvain Jolly, they're 3rd and 6th. They're both on the same team at Accent LED Racing. So it's kind of cool to see that team up there running pretty good here at Phoenix, being one of those tougher tracks to kind of get a grab of overall.
Yeah, it's nice when you have your teammates that are around you, because you know that their setups will work. Kind of same thing with Richie and Brody right behind them. Those two on the team. So kind of team effort tonight, it looks like all around. You're going to have, I'm sure they're sharing a lot of information, because this track is like I said, it's definitely one of the more difficult ones, and it's nice to see that they brought the championship here, because it kind of puts out for more racing. You did have at that one time where Harvick was dominating all the times in real life, but this track puts off so many different variables of racing, so it's definitely a nice one to finish, and you can see why they do it.
Just don't tell Nicholas that this track is difficult, because he would not believe you. Extended back out to a 2.8 second difference between him and Chuck Sweeting, and then 6.5 to 3rd place being Claude Furland in that 43. So the lead trucks have really, really gapped each other. The race right now is between 4th through 7th, from Claude Furland all the way back to Richie Coy. So outside of that, everyone's just super spaced out, just running their own thing. See a couple trucks out there just overall getting more and more loose. So that seems to be the trend with a lot of these drivers out there, is fighting looseness overall on the long runs, which in this league, as you've come to see, there is a lot of long runs here, which is a good thing, but you need your truck set up for it to capitalize and get as many positions as you can to set yourself up for a decent finish.
Yeah, and Shane, we haven't really talked about him much tonight. He started the race in 30th, and now he's up to 13th, so he's gained 17 spots here in these last 61 laps that we've had. So didn't make a qualifying run. Had some good speed in practice, but he's up here trying to fight his way into a top 10. So he kind of quietly made his way through the pack here. Same thing with Brian Bliss. I know you talked about it earlier. He's made about halfway through the spot, started 32nd, running 16th. So those two drivers have definitely made their way through the field and working the hardest here as we come around to halfway, Jeremy. So we're halfway through this race here. So I'm waiting for these green flag pit stops to start cycling through.
Brian Bliss in that throwback squared D machine. Haven't seen that scheme in quite some time, but he makes that thing look good.
That's a Bobby Hamilton scheme, wasn't it?
Bobby Hamilton, mainly. I think a couple of people drove that. I don't recall off the top of my head, but...
Yeah, maybe Kenny Wallace, too. If he was pushing senior, I think at Talladega might have been in that as well.
I always forget about him driving that scheme, but... Yeah, quite a few. I knew there's somebody else changed something. I really don't remember. But that scheme's been around NASCAR for decades. Probably 3 or 4 in total, if I had to count all the way back. But Brian Bliss keeping it alive here at Phoenix. Currently sitting at 15th. And you mentioned he's made us halfway up the field. And we see some trucks down pit road. Green flags up. They're underway. Brody Hanna. Looks like Matthew Tremblay as well. A couple trucks in early.
Yeah, so I want to say lap 63, Jeremy, is probably when we're going to have some green flag pit run. As we see, we got a bunch more trucks coming down pit road. As I'm hearing over the radio chatter, we're going to have a lot more as we see in the back there. 6, 7 trucks, have a couple more, I'm sure, coming down, because it sounds like everyone they took the bait. As soon as they saw them come down, everyone else just kind of cycling through.
Yeah, you have to do it. Once you see that first person dip, you're at a huge discrepancy. If you let the truck go 3 or 4 laps outside of everybody else, because of that huge time difference. And pit road is super busy. Quite a few people in here. Kenneth Scholl's one of them. Sylvain Jolly. You got Martin Guro just coming out of pit road now in that 50, the 27 as well. Quite a bit of people in there.
Yeah, and as we see on their TV, I kind of cycled back through too as well, and I was going to keep an eye on Nicholas to see kind of where he cycles through when this is all said and done, because he's still staying out. Right now he's got a 2.7 second lead. So I'm going to keep an eye on him and see when he comes in to make his green flag run and see where it all cycles through, because he's staying out a little bit longer than everyone else. It looks like Chuck's about the only other one behind him that stayed out. Everyone else behind him has came in so far. So you got the double circle on the inside here of Nicholas. So he's definitely got those fresher tires. As you can see, they're already taking advantage of it. Well, let's see where he comes in as we hear on the radio. Looks like the 42 is Zach McDaniel's going to be coming down pit road this time as well.
Yeah, I'm surprised Nicholas is actually keeping out on the surface right now. I'm thinking maybe he's in the mindset of let's just let everyone cycle through. If there's a caution, I'll take a huge advantage of it. But when you're in such a good position, commanding this field essentially, at least in my head, I would be wanting to come down early to kind of secure that position. Because if it goes green all the way and he has to dip, now he's 5 laps since the first truck has came down pit road, and that's like a second a lap. So, he's at a huge disadvantage at that point, though he'll make it up as the run progresses. That's going to happen, of course, but initially a 5-second drop or so is huge.
Yeah, and kind of like you're saying, he might be trying to catch a caution and get one with that one, but at the same time, he's got to worry about having a caution on the opposite end, so... He can gain it back definitely if he does that. As he puts down, looks like the 12 there, Matthew, in that Barstool Toyota Tundra there. They put him another lap down, so he's going to be now 8 on the lead lap as he's running down. Simon here, the next one, to put him another lap, not another lap down, but him lap down as well. So these next couple trucks, they're kind of ticking off here, and I don't think they pit as well. So they're kind of just trying to hold on as well before these green flag pit stops continue as they roll on.
Also to mention, too, he's passing some trucks here, and they were slowing him up in turn 1 and 2. So that also plays into the part of him slowing down his lap time and going to lose way more time. Looks like Kevin Rupert's calling for pit road right now. He is one of the trucks that Nicholas just passed. So he's going to be dipping this time. Yep, he's on the brakes. He takes that hard left turn. Chuck Sweeting also... one of those trucks out there, he's just coming down pit road as well. He was second place that entire time. So that's going to leave just 1 or 2 trucks left before the cycle green flag situation is complete.
That was a great entry there on pit road there by Chuck. He came in with a head full of speed, didn't lose any time. So that was a great entry we had on him. I'm surprised. I'm with you. Nicholas is, hey, he knows something I don't know because he's leading by 3 seconds, 2 seconds. I can't even get that close. So I'm not going to argue with the man. He's doing what he's doing. He's leading the race. He's dominating it. So I'm just going to keep watching it, see how it goes as we see. Looks like Angel Pawlicki's left this race, so he's also done for the night. I believe he was also in an early wreck as well. But as we see, Nicholas is kind of just carrying on. It's kind of hard to see what he's got. He's got a 10-second lead, but obviously nothing cycled through yet. So it's hard to tell exactly where this is going to cycle through when everything's said and done.
All right, man. Caution
there's
is
the
out.
caution flag as we speak.
Oh, Nicholas Morel with the perfect strategy. Takes, over half the field, I think 20-plus trucks on the lead lap, and that number shrinks to 5. Well, now 4 as the field cycles to the start-finish line. 4 trucks leading to the point, and everybody else 1 lap down or more. I think at the point of caution, Simon Madgen might be your potential lucky dog. Trying to find the caution right now to see exactly what happened on the racing surface. I don't see anyone in particular out of shape. I have to go back and take a quick look for everybody. But that's surprising. Nicholas Morel with a huge call to stay out, and it worked. So huge props to Nicholas right there on that strategy.
Yeah, I'm trying to, find where that caution is as well, and I can't seem to find a handle on it. But like you said, what a call. Some of these guys, they can just get the waiver around when they come in for pit stops, but now their tires are going to be shot, so they're going to get right back. So great call, great strategy, and if that goes for another long green flag run, we saw what he did in the first run, so it'll be interesting. But I can't seem to find the caution, Jeremy. I'm not sure what that came out for. It's unfortunate for majority of the drivers, but it worked out perfectly for Nicholas.
Yeah, it's almost like there was a debris caution because there's nobody on my camera at the point of caution. I'm watching the pace car, and at that point, I don't see anybody. It almost looks like it might have been some kind of debris caution. Let's see if we can find it here on Nerd TV. Maybe our producer Dustin in the background can find something that we're not seeing, but on my end, I'm not seeing a single truck out of formation. Oh, there. Okay. Good call there. Just a quick blip on the screen and he disappears, but the 25 looks like he had an expired motor entering turn 3.
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me. I was about to say, it looks like he lost his motor there. So, as we see him pull down. I wonder if a little bit from those 2 early cautions, maybe from that front end pushing in, or just kind of over push it there. But yeah, we saw just a little blip on the screen, boop, motor gone, and that's his night. It goes from winning that race last week to unfortunately not finishing this week.
I'm gonna give Dustin a pay raise there in the production booth there. Matthew Tremblay was gone half the lap, and then he reappeared just in time to have his engine expire. Then he disappeared again, at least from our perspective. So nice catch back there, man. Good job.
And as we see, it looks like they're going to extend this one more lap, probably to get everyone caught back up because we had a lot of people that's got the wave around. So they're trying to get everything cycled through. So they went ahead and extended it one more lap so they can get everything organized and not have people get unwanted black flags or anything like that. But it looks like as this thing's going to cycle back through, you're going to see Nicholas is still on point. Richie Coy sitting there in second. Right behind him is Casey, Brian, and Simon right out the top 5. So Richie, as we said, was making his way through, dominated last year. Didn't get the win, but had a dominating performance, so he's back up here again. See if he can make a fight for Nicholas and see if anyone can really put on a show with Nicholas because right now he's dominating the night.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot less trucks to worry about too, so which is crazy, right? I'm trying to get an overall number here of all the wave rounds: 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Looks about 13 trucks waved around.
All right, man. Lights are back on
They're
the
going to
pace car.
extend
We're not going green
the
this
caution
time. We are
again
not
one more
going
lap
green.
because there's so many trucks. That's almost half the field, essentially, that's being waved around. So good call by the admins to extend this thing one more time for you guys. So we're going to have to wait another lap before we get this thing green flag, which will be happening around lap 80 now. That's going to put about 46 laps to go when the green flag does fly. Simon Magden, he was your lucky dog. He's currently sitting in 5th because there's only 4 trucks on the lead lap whenever that caution came out. So he's your lucky dog recipient of this caution, which is the first caution that's had one because the first 2 cautions, Kenny, were on lap 1 and 2.
Yeah, and he went around, 5 trucks right there and put down 5 trucks a lap down. And Simon was in that. And I think Kevin Rupert was in that as well. And there was a couple other ones. And it was just close of who got it. Kevin came down pit road. Unfortunately, now he's still a lap down. So it's all in timing. If he would have stayed out one more lap, he might have got the lucky dog because I think he was ahead of Simon. So a little bit of luck for Simon, maybe not so much for Kevin. Either way, Simon's in 5th, got a lucky dog. Kevin's back there in 19th, a lap down, and Nicholas is still sitting there leading the point.
And I don't think he's got much of an issue doing so.
Is he coming down pit road?
My playbook is so messed up that I did not even see that coming, which I don't know. What is going on with Nicholas Moreau? Your point, your driver that's been leading this whole thing is in pit road the same time we're going green flag. He just elected to not. I don't know if he didn't take fuel in his pit stop or something. Why? I don't know. We'll have to see if we get any notification on that. But
green flag.
Nonetheless, we're going to go back to green flag. Your new leaders, Casey McMullen and Richie Coy, take the green flag. They're going to kind of keep it 2 by 2 by 2 entering turn number 1, Kenny.
Yeah, I was kind of there. I was speechless with you as they were going. As we see here on our TV, they're battling turn 1 and 2. I kind of got a little eye on Nicholas as well, and he's taking tires on pit road, so I'm not sure, what happened with him, but nonetheless, Richie Coy, now your new leader. You got him with Casey McMullen right behind him, Brian Bliss running in 3rd spot, so it's a new leader at the point. This is a new race, so it's I'm still kind of in shock. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with Nicholas. He's still sitting on pit road, so we'll have to find out maybe after the race and do an update of what's going on with that.
Yeah, I kind of turned my attention to his truck. He has still not left pit road after an entire lap, so huge news here for the guy that's been just straight up dominating this event. But people like Richie Coy and Case McMullen and Brian Bliss, I'm pretty sure they're very happy to see that. We got a lot of refreshed spirits at this point. They're like, oh man, we have an opportunity. There's the good guy's gone, so let's make everything of it, right? So Richie Coy, 0.4 seconds ahead of Casey McMullen in 2nd place. Brian Bliss started 32nd, currently sitting in 3rd.
Yeah, and it's crazy how they get spread out this track and kind of everyone separates so quickly. It's just, that initial start too. You go low there and you spread out. You can gain so much time on some people or pull away from some people. And as we see, we're only 3 laps into this run and we have a couple seconds. I mean, we're 5 seconds Simon, he started in 5th place. He's sitting back here in 14th right now. So he must have had some issues on the restart, and he's sitting 6 seconds back. So just that quickly at this track, you can lose some time. It's definitely a driving track there, and you got to wheel this thing around, and it'll bite you real quick. But as we see Richie Coy's kind of extend the lead now, as looks like he's still about 7 tenths away now. So as he's heading out on turn 1, Jeremy's got Casey McMullen falling behind him.
Yeah, Casey McMullen's falling back to 7/10 of a second behind Richie Coy. Brian Bliss falls to 1.3 seconds back in 3rd place, and in 4th place you'll find him 3.25 seconds back of your race leader. Nicholas Morel had disconnected from the server, has kind of rejoined now, so I'm not sure if it's more of a connection issue than anything, but at least he's going to make a second attempt to get back on the surface, but multiple laps down. But as you see right here, running that dog leg, that we're going to see that happen. And right now Chuck Sweeting is the guy leading the charge right there. That time just really dipping that thing super low, and he slides back into the front of the 27 to gain that spot. Yeah,
take it as low as they can go. That's what I like about this track, is just get down as low as you can possibly. So we're coming here. We got 40 laps to go, Jeremy, to finish this truck race. I think we should take this over to a commercial break and then come back and run this race down to the checkered flag.
Yeah, we'll see you guys on the other side of Side by Side.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. There's a reason that Makoni Setup Shop is trusted by more virtual and real-world tracks and companies than any other setup shop in iRacing. With partners such as Stafford Motor Speedway, the Nashville Fairground Speedway, Five Flag Speedway, Speed 51, and more. When you want something done right, you go to the experts at Makoni Setup Shop.
With setups available for most series on both asphalt and dirt, built by a team of professional builders consisting of some of the top talents on the service, Makoni Setup Shop LLC has what you need to hit the track with confidence. Head over to MakoniSetupShop.com and learn why Makoni Setup Shop is the official setup shop of Richmond Raceway Esports and is partnered with some of the largest names in virtual and real racing.
And remember, at Makoni Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
All right, guys, welcome back to Nerd TV with the Full Throttle Sim Racing Series. This is your Sim Racing Points Truck Series every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. You'll catch me and Kenny calling all the action for these guys. Richie Coy, Kenny, come back for the break. He has taken full advantage of Nicholas's issues. He has got a 3-second lead on the nose over Casey McMullen, and then Brian Bliss sitting in third, 5.5 back. So there's been a lot of shifts in the field, and Richie Coy is at the point right now.
Yeah, Richie Coy is definitely just walking away right now. He's 3.2 seconds ahead, as you were saying, and everyone else has kind of got 5. You got Brian Bliss and Chuck. They're kind of a little close there in the battle. Chuck's been running up front all night. I mean, he was running second at one point, so he's definitely has the speed and has the truck to get there. I think on that last restart, though, he didn't really have the best and he wasn't able to get going, but he's trying to fight his way back, trying to get around Brian to get back into that top 3. But Brian Bliss, I mean, last week we had, Matthew gain 29 spots, win the race. Brian's up 29 spots tonight. So a couple more spots. He's going to one-up him as he did that one. He's got a lot of ground to gain, though, and got 27 laps because he's currently sitting 5 seconds behind. But, those top 3, other than Brian and Chuck, everyone else is kind of spread out pretty good.
Yeah, Blackwater Motorsports kind of dominating this thing at this point in time, being second and third place with Casey McMullen and Brian Bliss. And there's only so much you can do on those setup changes inside the truck. So maybe it's just the dynamic of the track changing with how it's rubbered in over the course of 100 laps at this point. But there's a lot of names, as you mentioned, with Brian passing, almost 30 trucks at this point. The track or something has changed dynamically so much that we're seeing names that were not up front in the first half just kind of showing the way right now.
Yeah, and I know you said the Blackwater Motorsports there with Casey McMullen, but you got Brian Bliss. He's actually with him and Brandon Oder. They're on the Fast Turd Sim Racing. That's one of my favorite teams out here right now. So I was just Brian at one point, but I think Brian and Brandon kind of teamed up with each other. But yeah, Casey's definitely the strong runner in that Blackwater Motorsports tonight.
Yeah, good call. I see that they're all joined into one little chat session, so had me kind of questioning whether if there was a team swap or not. So wrong call. I'm glad you're there to correct me, which is very common these days, but we'll let that slide on my part once again, over and over. It'll just continue to be that fall for me. But outside of the leaders, we're back to just single file cruising. Maybe a couple position changes. There's a couple cars being passed right now, but other than that, it's just single file. There's really nothing too much drastically going on the racing surface right now. And we are just past lap 100. There's 24 laps to go in this Phoenix 200K. Couple position changes here. 12th and 13th, kind of close. And what you got, Kenny?
As you see there on their TV, I mean, that's got to be frustrating for Nicholas. I mean, I've been watching him come through the field after he got back on the track and connected, and he's just picking people off slowly one by one. So he knows he has a fast truck, and we saw him that he just connected back a couple times. So we're not sure if he was having some graphic issues, some connection issues. We know this update is Chuck's letting him go ahead. Chuck's like, you're a lap down. I'm sitting here in third place. I'm not gonna, battle too much with you. You got the faster truck. We'll let you go. But that's got to be very frustrating. Still having a fast truck and having some issues technically wise. It looks like, that's unfortunate for Nicholas. But at least he got back out here and he's having some fun with it.
Yeah, Chuck Sweeting, that blue Chevrolet, is in third place, and him and Nicholas are running the point the first half of this event. And you can see just how much faster he is over Chuck Sweeting.
Caution is out.
Caution is out on the speedway. You are correct. We're going to see if we can find it this time, which it looks like the 43 Claude Furland heavy inside, or in the middle rather, of 1 and 2. I think he got a little bit of help from the 08 entering turn number 3 in the middle of turn number 4.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate there. As my screen as saw him get this incidents where with him, and then he cut off my screen. So hopefully here on their TV we'll see what happened.
Kind of off in the distance, you kind of see that contact, and then here we go, just
head-on contact.
Oh man, the 88.
Mark started up front. He started second and kind of fell back a little tonight, but that's definitely not what that's just a night that's gone from bad to worse. Started up in second, kind of fell back, and then unfortunate to slide into him like that.
Yeah, he started second. It was currently running in 13th place whenever he made heavy contact. The number 43 of Claude Furland. Claude was currently sitting in 7th place there. One of those trucks that were making some moves, gaining some spots, and just a little bit of assistance. You see it right here. It's almost the same point where Jeff Gordon and what was it, Matt Kenseth that made some contact, or Ryan Newman, I think it was, right in that same location, just a door check. And one more time, you see the heavy impact there to Mark Dubril. Just jacks that nose up, and I think his night's done for this evening. I know Claude's engine has expired.
Yeah, and you mentioned Ryan Newman, and the only thing I think about Ryan Newman here at Phoenix is when he ran Kyle Larson into the wall to get his spot into the championship run there at Homestead. But at the end of the day, though, we know who got the last laugh, and that was Kyle Larson last year getting the championship. But that's the memory I got of Ryan Newman here at Phoenix is that run, a slam and run, as you can call it, instead of a bump and run. But it's gonna be interesting to see what happens, Jeremy. As we see, we got Richie Coy in second and Casey McMullen here in first there on this restart. So we're gonna see where they kind of cycle through. I think, but we're gonna have a new. Yeah, it looks like Casey's gonna be starting on the point on this restart.
4 wave rounds at this point before you get to the first truck, or first place, Casey McMullen. Trying to figure out exactly who your lucky dog was. Maybe James Torrey. They haven't given us the official word on that yet, but it looks like right now James Torrey is currently sitting in that spot. But yeah, this brings Richie Coy back into play. Currently sitting in second. Somehow Casey McMullen took advantage over him. I don't know exactly how that happened because he had such a huge lead, but Casey McMullen's currently scored first place on the scoreboard. But if Richie Coy has that speed, I'm sure he's going to be right back and getting around that 71 as quick as he can, because he only has about just over 20 laps when this thing goes back to green.
Yeah, it looks like he beat him on pit road. Just had a little bit faster stop. I mean, he barely got off the pit road quicker than he did. So both took 4 tires, but Casey just had a little quicker pit stop. So that's what put him out front. We'll wait for those guys to kind of get that wave around as they go around right here. We see on their TV. So that'll put Casey on the inside. We're coming with what we're going to have 17 to go here when they come around. So let's see. We know who's got all 3 of them really, and then look who's right behind him, Chuck. So if Chuck can get a strong restart here, he might have a chance out as well, because he's shown some strength there in that truck early on.
Yeah, that Gators Racing Chevrolet Silverado. He definitely wants to get back to where he was when he was second place with Nicholas Morel, but Nicholas is out of the occasion, so that would put him in first if that were the case. But after one caution, it changes the entire DNA of the field. We're seeing Casey McMullen really wanting to go. Gotta wait for the green flag. Be patient. Richie can't make the jump on the start, or else he'll get pushed back. Green flag is out. Good restart by Casey McMullen. 75 of Chuck Sweeting right on his rear panel.
Yeah, Chuck's trying to gain a couple spots too as they're going well, and Richie Coy here trying to make that 2 for 1. But Richie's fighting hard on the outside here, as we see he might get the advantage as they're heading off in here, going down the back, Jeremy. Yeah, Richie was going to clear him here.
Big block and a big wreck to follow suit by Brody Hannon on a few of the trucks. Caution's out for the 4th time this evening. Looks like Brody Hannon, the 86, 89, who gets all 4 wheels off the ground. That being Shane Papala does a helicopter move. Looked like Nicholas Casey in the 86 definitely was involved. Everybody else kind of slowed up, and only some slight damage. You're going to see the impact right here. Brody handed the door, the 86. Slow motion, as always, to bring you the best action. It kind of spinning out, and right there, just all 4 tires. Shane Papala off of the ground. Never a good thing to see, Kenny.
No, it's not, and unfortunately his motor's expired too, to add to insult there. But what a pileup! I mean, it's so tight back there. It's kind of reminds me of like when there's a wreck on the backstretch of Dover, everyone's going to get involved. It's just a tight racing situation coming off these corners, and quite the camera view we had there of him spinning full circle like a helicopter style there. But yeah, that's unfortunate. We lost a lot of good trucks there. I mean, they're sitting the later half of that top 10, but that's definitely going to put a couple of them out, because we saw like Brody kind of sitting back there, and now he's going to have some damage to get worked on as well.
Now, I'm running short of time, but I'd like to highlight this. If Dustin, if you could pull up Nicholas Casey's far chase camera and go slow-mo just before contact. We were talking about it during the break amongst ourselves about the netcode situation being fixed and how it got so much better. I think I'm going to retract every single comment I made during that commercial break. You're going to catch it here real shortly here once we get that clip for you. But netcode, that was not, I mean, Brody was going to slide up, I think, originally anyways, but you're going to see it here. Netcode is still an apparent thing after that update. And so he comes up. He was going to hit regardless, but there is clearly a gap in between those two whenever the contact was made. But, that could have changed the complexity of that entire wreck if that truck actually were to make contact before they started wrecking them up.
Yeah, and netcode's going to be that slow gain. Every update, they're just going to slowly keep inching their way to getting a little bit better and better. But yeah, it's funny. We were just, like you were saying, just talking about that on the commercial break about how we really haven't seen much of it going on, and then it shows its ugly face here coming to these closing laps.
Super unfortunate. I think contact was going to be made regardless, but
so.
it just sucks, man. Yeah, you got a handful of laps left, and you're trying to, especially at Phoenix, you can make a lot of positions happen in a short period of time. And when you're going 2 and 3 wide, things are just going to happen. And unfortunately, that took out quite a few victims that weren't even initially involved in that. But that's going to stack them up once again. You got Richie Coy back to the point. He had a strong runner on the top side to regain the lead. And since now he's going to control this restart with probably 11 or 12 to go once they go back to green, I think he's looking real nice as maybe the top pick so far. I know we talked to him on Monday and then things went array, so I don't want to jinx anything right now. I'm just kind of leave it at that. But that truck looking stout.
Yeah, and I was wondering if he's going to take the outside, especially with that run that he had there on that restart, and he just called it. He's going to take the outside. He knows where the fastest groove is, so he's going to take that. That's going to put Casey McMullen back down the inside. I want to see how Casey gets this start, if he's going to go well, but I think with Richie having the control of that restart, he's going to have a better entry going into 1 and 2 and have a lot better drive off.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's shown the way, and he's one of those drivers who likes running that middle groove. So if he has the option to do so, I don't blame him for doing so. I think he's going to be my pick right now, unless we get a really solid restart by Casey. We've seen Chuck push Casey really hard in the after start-finish line into turn number 1. Maybe if they can both get a good jump, they can do something with them. But right now, Brian in that 19 Ford F-150 just making some moves right now. Yeah,
and Richie's been pretty consistent this year too, so he's kind of keeping that consistency going. Going to definitely gain some points here. As we're going to come on this restart, we're going to have about 12 laps to go, so it's going to be a nice little 12-lap shootout, I think.
Tons of excitement. Green flag is out. Richie does not get the start. I don't think that he won. It's going to leave Casey McMullen with a good chance here on the bottom of 1 and 2. Chuck Sweeting matches his energy, entering turn number 1 side by side, but Richie Coy with that outside momentum is going to clear Casey on the exit of turn number 2.
Yeah, and as they're coming off of turn 2, you can see Richie with that momentum. Chuck Sweeting's looking on the inside, though, right there. So he's got a nice run on the inside. He's going to try and make that pass on Casey, but Casey shuts the door. Oh,
he hits him in the rear.
Save it. He did save it, but then Chuck went up high and hit the forward two, which is your points leader. Oh, man, big contact there. Zach's in the wall. Chuck's in the wall. Casey saved it. I don't think he ended up hitting anything on that one.
Oh, man, that's, that last caution, if it wasn't for that caution, that would have been the showcase move. Casey McMullen put the same block on Chuck last restart, right before the big wreck. This time it was clear off of turn number 2. Chuck gave it everything he had, and just you see it right here on Nerd TV, barely gets to the back of Casey McMullen, and then shifts up the field, and then 3 or 4 trucks involved, a 00. The 12 barely escapes it through. Pretty good driving by Matthew. Yeah, Matthew especially. Huge, nice checkup. The 00 also, that being Steven Vrooman, just, barely made any contact with his good heads up.
Yeah, that could have been a lot worse there for the 42. Zach McDaniel, like saying, your points leader, definitely could have been hit a lot harder on that spin, but good checkup there to avoid everything, as we see here on Nerd TV, as Chuck moves up, just barely collects Zach and just slams on the brake here, and nice control, though. Let's see if they get a little contact with the wall.
Yeah,
nope, they ended up missing it.
This is on the nose of
13
Matthew. The 12 of Matthew, and that Barstool Sports Toyota Tundra. Just excellent driving, heads up there, up against the wall, and no contact whatsoever. And that's, this truck's pristine right now, too. I don't think there's any damage to that machine that I can see. But he does come out pit road. Maybe he thought the tires were used up, hitting the brakes a little harder than expected, and he's going to get some 4 fresh Goodyears to round out this probably 6-lap shootout when they go back green.
Yeah, the Perez, Dave Portnoy, he'd be happy with whatever happened there, keeping that truck nice and clean there. But as we see, we're going to have Richie Coy and Brian Bliss kind of on the start 1-1-2. They got around Casey on that restart. That was Chuck's opportunity. He tried taking it. He knew there's only 12 laps left after that restart, and he was making his move, and he definitely had the run coming, and it was a good block by Casey, and it was a good save by Casey. I mean, Casey saved that thing. He's still running third place. Tires are going to be a little, iffy, but it's not going to be that much on this restart here. But that was Chuck's opportunity, and he took it, and unfortunately, it just didn't work out for him.
Also, I want to make a mention, and I don't know how this slipped my mind, but Zach McDaniel in that 42, who got heads on with that impact, is your points leader. The Sim Racing Points Truck Series had an 11-point advantage over Chris Stouffer entering the event. Chris had his early woes there, out of the race, 32nd on the scoreboard. But then Zach McDaniel he's now just exiting pit road, currently scored in 15th. And Casey McMullen also involved in that wreck. He was right behind him, so Nicholas Casey. There's a huge shake-up in the points. Tony Solari, who was top 5, also, out of this race, basically. And actually is out of this race for that matter. But it's just so many different positions and the points that are being shaken up right now.
Yeah, it's, Casey and Richie are going to be the biggest gainers here. More so on Richie. I mean, Casey's right there, too. So he came in, he was sitting 16 points behind in third place, so he's definitely going to gain on Chris for sure, because he's out since the start of this race, and Zach with his issues right there. But Richie, I think, might be the biggest gainer. He's kind of sitting back there, and he's been pretty steady. I think he ended up, I think he got 13th, and then I believe 6th, maybe it was 3rd last week, and now on the points. So we're going to get this one restarted, Jeremy. It's going to be about 7 laps to go. As we see Richie's truck and Brian's look clean. Back there, Casey and Bobby, they got a little bit of damage, but I think the 19 and 18 are going to be the ones going at it.
Agreed here. Let's see if Bobby Hamilton has anything for Richie Coy on this restart. He's going to have to do something really good. I joke that's actually Brian Bliss, not Bobby Hamilton. Green flag should be coming out any second. Let's see who gets the advantage on this restart.
Green.
Potentially the last one.
Oh, they touch on the restart.
Oh my! Oh, what just happened
Brian
here?
Hard is the inside wall. I don't know if they're gonna throw a caution for that.
Caution is out
it is out
already.
Okay.
Oh my! Brian Bliss just got shuffled out of the field. Richie Coy maintains your race leader. We're going to see it on their TV exactly what happened, but it just looks like the 18 came up, 19 went down. They wanted to try to feel each other out and just jacks them up. And I'm surprised, Kenny, how sideways that truck got for only being, 60 miles an hour?
Yeah, and he just hit that inside wall right at the corner perfectly, and then, got the inner inside wall even harder. Yeah, I was watching it, and I was like, these guys are awfully close, and, in that netcode we were talking about, I didn't know if that had, they got close, and once they got close, you saw them just come together. Maybe that's a little bit helped that push in. Brian just came with the radio saying, I apologize, I think that might have been me. As we see there, kind of looks like he came up. Him and Richie are kind of discussing, see what happens. But it kind of looks like the 18, like you were saying, kind of came up just a touch and got them together, and just, it shot him down to the inside wall in a hurry. That was weird.
Yeah, the camera angles that I'm currently looking at does show Brian Bliss at 18, square D, came up the track into the door panel of the 19. I don't think the 19 was truly at fault or anything. He came down just a touch, but I feel like there was more so involved with Brian. But just kind of a misjudgment, you're trying to jump the start the best, or at the very moment that you can to get the best launch. And sometimes you kind of lose focus on directly what's next to you. Your surroundings a little off when you're trying to focus on that gas pedal more than the steering wheel. And I think that's exactly what happened there. And it just really knocks Brian back to 15th place after, potentially going for the race win.
Yeah, and as we see right here on their TV, the 33, that's going to be Sherwood Wilford. He's going to get the lucky dog, Martin Sports lucky dog, that is. So he's going to get back on the lead lap here. That's going to put us looks like we're going to come around to 17 cars here on the lead lap once he cycles through. And I think, are we going to be sitting here? We might even have its own little iRacing green-white checkered. So we'll see what comes to it. On this restart, because we got 5 to go, as we're going to go around one more lap. So yeah, we might have an own iRacing green-white checker here. So we'll see what happens. But it's not going to be an official one. So if something does happen, they have one more to fall back on.
Yeah, they will have another shot at it if they need it, unless they get to the white flag, of course, and that's going to settle the race at that point. I don't know who is all out there that's a wrestling fan, but the 19 Brian Bliss is almost looking like a Roman Reigns title contention, where every pay-per-view he has the same exact title, but a different contender. And so far, he's kind of what? If there's anything from wrestling that you're going to know about, it's the what from Stone Cold Steve Austin era, but. Yeah, he's got a different contender. This time, the number 4, Bobby Terrell, going to be in second place. He's got some damage to that nose, but obviously being in the top 5, it has not affected his truck.
No, and Casey's still sitting back there, and I'm not sure, I know he slowed his tires a little bit. They probably don't have that much wear on him from that slide, and he didn't get much damage because it was just a little tap there from Chuck. So he's going to be one to watch. I'm sure Richie's going to take the high side again. He's been... no, actually, he just says he's going to take the bottom side. So he's going to put Bob up on the high side, and I'm not sure if he's maybe thinking that, Casey, maybe he's trying to get ahead of Casey here, think Casey might have the better truck. I'm not sure, but he's been on the high side on those last 2 restarts, and this one he's going to take the low side. He's going to put Bobby up there on the top.
I don't know if I like that call. I mean, he's got such a dominant truck. I'm sure he can do it just fine, but he's had experience on the top, and he's done that restart so well. So I'm really curious as to why he's doing the bottom this time, but, he knows more than I do. His truck's looking really fast at this point with who's out there in the front. I think he'll still get it done, no problem, but Bobby Terrell, I'm sure he's excited. He gets a good, solid chance on this top side. Let's see if he can make the most of it. I got the 08 there as well. He was involved in that wreck about, I think, 30, 40 laps ago. He's kind of licking his chops, that being Sylvain Jolly. Of course, Casey McMullen. He's still at the point, sitting there in third, waiting for the green flag to drop. Richie Coy getting a little bit of a head advantage there. Green flag is out, and it looks like Richie Coy gets the best restart. Case McMullen and him dipped down really low in the dog leg.
Yeah, Richie got a good restart there, and I think he saved it for the last one, and he definitely took it to the inside. He dropped it down low. That's what I was expecting kind of this whole race was going to take it down to about that third groove there. Most of the time he was going to second one, but he pulling a good little lead here. He's going to have a couple truck lengths head down into the turn 3 and turn 4 here, Jeremy, as we're coming into the final lap. We're going to come to 1 to go at this time by.
1 to go. Leader has the white flag. That means next flag is going to end this thing. No extended race today. Single file until you get... Well, actually, no, they got to take that back. The 4, Bobby Terrell's got some heavy pressure by Case McMullen there on the bottom. Casey's going to try to get a good launch off the bottom here. Bobby's putting some good pressure, door to door, side by side.
Outside. It looks like they're going to hold it.
Looks like Wayne Grassy by himself going back to second place. Case McMullen still trying to get that drive. We see Richie Coy take the checker flags for tonight's event, and Bobby Terrell, by just a mere hundredths of a second, takes it over third place. Case McMullen.
Yeah, and as we see, man, the damage isn't really, especially these short tracks, it's not going to take that much factor as, Casey's truck has little to no damage and Bobby's front end's messed up and Bobby still got him on the outside there. But heck of a run by Richie. Starting 13th, pulled it off, got first place. He's having a heck of a season. Makes me want to go have a root beer.
I haven't had one of those in probably a year, and you're not wrong. I might have to go sneak out and buy one myself, but Wayne Grassy's 9th place in points. That last corner wreck there essentially put him in 17th place on the scoreboard. So another one of those drivers are going to have a heavy mix-up. And these point systems, Kenny, I think they're just flopping everywhere. We have no idea what this is going to look like. But see Richie Coy doing that Allison backwards lap, kind of thanking the fans. Did a little bit of a tiny burnout before he did that. But as he's just quickly...
Polish lap.
Yeah, a little bit of a Polish lap. No problem there.
The points things that we're talking about too. It's like it is only the 4th race of the season, but we got to remember they're doing the split season, so 13 races, and they're only going to have about what's that going to be, about 9 left. So going to have to kind of step it up a little bit if they're having some point issues in this last couple of races.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is going to bring us to the Martin Sports post-race event here to wrap up all the coverage from Phoenix. And Kenny, he's doing the full entire lap. He's thanking every virtual fan sitting in the crowd. It's like a full house. Typically is.
All the haulers up there. He's got all the RVs. He's got to say hi to them. All the fans that are sitting up on the hill there. That would be a fun place to watch that race, is up on the hill. But he's going to even take it down, reverse down pit road, and Wave to him again on the front stretch.
He's gonna wave to every contender that he just beat on that track tonight. Just don't drive by Nicholas's pit stall, and I think you're gonna be safe. But
He's taking it.
deserved win though. He had the car to beat on Monday. I'm glad he's able to capitalize on tonight's event and kind of take over and get the W for his team, man.
Parking it right in victory lane. Look at him. He knew where he's going. He said, I'm just going to go around backwards. I'm just going to pull this thing right on in and step on out of here and collect my trophy.
You know, he just taught me something. I didn't realize that section was open on the track.
Dude,
So
I was waiting for him to hit the invisible wall.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Okay. Thank you, iRacing, for that. But we're going to give you we're going to actually run down the official results here by sim racing points here in just a moment. But it's just so many different scenarios and stories that played out, Ken. You see right here the finish on Nerd TV, side by side for 2nd through 5th. We got the official grid there for you, the results rather. So Richie Coy obviously taking the spot. We got Bobby Terrell in 2nd, Casey McMullen in 3rd, Sylvain Jolly in 4th. 5th place, Simon Magden. 6th place, Chuck Sweeting, who had that excellent run all day long. Kevin Scholes makes a recovery back to 7th. Kevin Rupert, that one machine, started 28th, finishes 8th, so 20 spots gained there. And then right behind him, James Torrey, similar story, started 29th, finished 9th. Matthew Gevringer, once again, 31st started, ends it in 10th.
Yeah, and 11th place is going to be Stephen Verman, 12th. Brian Bliss, who was up at the front till that little mishap with Richie Coy, but still ended up gaining 20 spots, kind of like the previous ones above him. 13th was your points leader coming into this contest, Zach McDaniel. 14th is going to be Nicholas Casey. 15th is Sherwood Wilford. 16th is Brody Hanna after that late caution there with him. Same with Wayne Grassy, who had that. He saved on the backstretch, but that definitely cost him, put him all the way back to 17th. 18th is going to be Martin Giro. Sorry if I mispronounced that last name there. 19th is going to be Nicholas Moreau. And 20th is going to be Shane Pipala.
21st, Mark DeBriel. 22nd, Claude Furland. 23rd place, Jonathan Varanakis. 24th place, Matthew Tremblay, who won last week and just had some bad luck in one of those wrecks, 53 laps down. 25th place, Andrew Palicki. 26th, Alex Murphy. Lane Allen, 27th. Tough to see him too, 100 laps down on that one. 28th place, Jeff Langston. 29th, Brandon Elder. 30th place, Tony Solari. Gil Gawk, 31st. Christopher, 32nd. And Ronald White, he finishes last. He didn't actually qualify or take grid, but he put some qualifying laps down, or some practice rather. So he does round up the field in 33rd. And Kenny, I think that's going to start bringing in our post-race interviews. First, we're going to talk to Casey McMullen, who finished 3rd tonight. Casey, do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Casey, man, pretty solid performance overall. You kind of held the top 5 for the most part of this race, and some luck came your way whenever Nicholas had his issues, trying to figure out what happened there. And then that save you did when you got tagged by Sweeting there in the turn number 3. Walk us through how you saved that and how you were able to get the top 3.
Yeah, most of the race, I think I was running about 12th, the first run. And I just stayed out. But that's how I got my track position. And then I got, we're racing pretty hard there at the end and just got a little bit tagged. And I just let off and just let it correct itself off. And it just saved itself. I didn't have to do much.
Yeah, it was a great save. I mean, it definitely, you didn't lose any spots. I think you were kind of in that 2nd, 3rd spot there, so you ended up saving it. How do you feel like the tires were on the long run there that we had at the start of the race there after the couple cautions? Do you feel like the tires wore pretty quick, or they were more on the long run there?
No, they barely wore the whole race. I think we didn't fall off on times that much, but this track's so smooth, and the tires just didn't seem to really be that bad here.
That's actually kind of good knowledge. I know they worked on the tire model a little bit for most of the cars on this update that just came out on yesterday. So maybe that played into effect a little bit. The tire wear, I expected to be a lot worse. This track is really smooth though, so I guess if you have a really strong truck, you can make that kind of thing happen. But congratulations, though, on podium, finishing third place tonight in the Phoenix 200K. I know you got some sponsors out there and some people that might be watching you out there in the sim world on their TV. Any shout outs you want to give out?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Blackwater Products USA, Steve Berry, all the guys at Blackwater, all the associated teams and everything. Everybody at FTSR, you guys in the booth, the wife, the kids, and God. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Appreciate you for all the kind words to everybody out there. And all right, man, go ahead and go join your team and celebrate tonight on a good place, hard fought third place.
Thank you, and congrats to Richie.
We'll pass that message for you. And that was your third place finisher, Casey McMullen. And we're going to bring up a second place, which came out of nowhere, really, late in the run there. Mr. Bobby Terrell, do you got a copy?
Yes, sir. I sure do.
Bobby, congratulations on getting second place. One of the names I didn't really see up there in the top 3 or 4. I mean, it's some kind of shuffling around, especially in that 2/3 of the race wreck, which kind of shifted everything around. And just like I asked Casey, man, just kind of walk us through how you got to second place.
I ran fourth most of the race, but I think behind Claude, we were running about the same laps, and I couldn't really get a run on him any at all. My truck was pretty neutral, but I didn't have the speed that I think Nicholas had and Chuck had. I figured the most I had, if I could finally get around Claude, would be a third place truck, and then I pitted early, and then I think the cautions come out, and I was back in fifth, and then some wrecks, and like I said, I just drove on the outside to second. So got, I had a little bit of luck, but boy, I tell you, the season started off really rough, as far as the first 3 races go. I mean, I think I've gotten more incidents the first 3 races than I have in maybe 5 or 6 seasons.